Hey everybody, welcome back to the Luxe Biz channel. I'm Tatiana and today I'm going to share with you how to pick your first brand name. Now I know that this might seem very overwhelming, it might seem like a really big deal, but you don't want to get into analysis paralysis and take 3 months to pick a brand name. So I hope that this video can provide you a little bit of insight, a few different tips to help you kind of figure out, okay, is this the name for me? Let's get started. Number one, I do think that you should know at this point the general niche that you want to be in. So you don't have to know the specific products that you want to sell, but at least have an idea of where you want to go with your brand, where you want to take it. Are you going to be in the gardening? Are you going to be in the animal niche, puppies and cats and dogs and all that? Or are you going to be in the baby category? So figure out what category you want to sell in, what niche you want to be in, and that's really going to help you with getting a clear image of what your brand is about. Number two, you want to make sure that your brand name is not too complex. You don't want to make it really long. You don't want to make it really confusing. My rule of thumb is that with your brand name, people should be able to memorize it and not have to write it down. So if you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone, that person should be able to remember your brand name and go home, type it in on a computer and search it. They shouldn't have to whip out a pen and paper to write it down. Or if you're driving down the street and someone sees your billboard and has a brand name, you know, that person only got a couple seconds to really interpret that and register that brand name. And if it's a really long name with weird spelling, they're not gonna get it and that's gonna be a lost sale. So just make sure it's short and sweet. Also just make sure that, you know, you can get creative with your brand name, but make sure that it's not too fancy because you got a lot of weird spelling. People are just not gonna remember how to spell it. So keep it simple and also make sure that your brand name isn't interpreted the wrong way in different languages. So, you know, in English, your brand might be fine, but maybe in French, your brand is a profanity word or something like that. So be careful with that. And next, I want to mention that you should definitely make sure to take advantage of playing around with words. So yes, keep it short and sweet. Make sure it's not too complex, but at the same time, you know, when you do your trademark search, you're going to notice that a lot of the simple terms have already been used, are already trademarked. So you do have to kind of play with your imagination, have a play upon words. So, you know, instead of spelling puppies with P-U-P-P-I-E-S, you might spell it P-U-P-P-I-E-Z or something similar to that, you know, kind of play around with that. And also you could have, you know, different words that have different meanings. So an example might be, I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but say for example, you want to sell, you know, chocolate. And then you make your brand name Choco Latte. So it kind of represents, you know, it says chocolate in the name, but you're spreading it out, maybe having a dash in between. You can also have like a cool like latte, cup of a latte, say you're a coffee shop and you, yeah, so Choco Latte, something like that. You know, just get creative basically is what I'm trying to say, but not too creative where it gets confusing and hard to memorize. Once you've decided on that, just make a big list. And what I would suggest doing is you can kind of cancel out the ones that you really don't like, but then when you're getting to the stage where it's hard to really choose between one or the other, get other people's opinions. Post it on Facebook, join a Facebook group for, you know, a business, or ask your family and friends and be like, hey, which one do you like more? Which one do you prefer? What does this mean to you? You know, how do you interpret this? Don't give them any idea about the background of the business. Don't give them any idea about what niche it is. Just ask them, how do they see this? What does it represent to them? And then, you know, if it's on point and it's like a puppy brand, they say, oh, it seems like you're selling animal toys. Perfect. But if you're selling animal toys and they say, oh, it seems like you're selling coffee, well, that brand name's not going to work. So get other people's opinions. Then what you want to do is search for trademarks. So actually you should probably do this beforehand. So search for trademarks, make sure that nothing that you're using in your brand names is trademarked. I'll link down below the website for the government of how you can search for trademarks. It's super simple. And yeah, just make sure that the one that you pick is not trademarked. Even if it's a dead trademark within the last 5 years, don't pick it. Of course, you don't want a live trademark, but the dead ones within the last 5 years, I would suggest not picking them. And then finally, I mean, you can use your brand name without actually having to trademark it. You are allowed to do that. The only risk that somebody else is also going to be using that brand name. Maybe someone uses it 6 months after you, but they actually went in and put a trademark on it. So You do have some risk when you don't trademark your brand name, because at any point in time someone else could trademark it and then you're gonna have to change your whole branding. But you know, when you're small, it's around $500 to trademark your brand name, and you can do this yourself. You don't have to hire a lawyer to do it. I've done my trademarks by myself. It's super simple. But you know, it is $500, so it can be quite costly. So I would, you know, hold off on that. You know, in the beginning, like, people might not be competing with you. They're not gonna care about your brand name or anything like that. So maybe hold off until it actually becomes a must in your business. I didn't trademark my brand until about a year after I started it. So yeah, and that's it, guys. So just remember, keep it simple. Don't get too confusing. Make sure it's short so people can memorize it. Make sure it has to do with your niche. You know, best if someone can actually say, you know, get an idea of what your niche is as soon as they see the title. And of course, make sure it's not trademarked. I hope this video helps you. If you guys would like some feedback on your brand names, feel free to comment them down below and I could help you kind of pick one. It'd be fun to see what you guys come up with. And yes, I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to check out free training on how to source from China. It's awesome. It will tell you step by step on what I do. It's a 30-minute long video, so check it out on the link down below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.